Hi, and welcome to Life, the Los Angeles Institute for Film Excellence. I am your host, George Vincent, and today we have the honor of talking with the lovely and talented Ella Joyce. Known for her acting roles and Set It Off, Bubba Ho-Tep, Reality Bites, and so much more. Hello, Ella.
Hi, George.
Welcome to the show.
And thank you. I'm happy to be here.
We're happy to have you. Okay, let's jump right in. You were born in Chicago, and you grew up in Detroit, Michigan. What was your childhood like growing up?
Well, I spent all of my summers in Chicago because my grandparents lived there. And Chicago is like a 4-hour drive from Detroit, which is where my parents lived. That's where I went to school. It was fun growing up at the time I grew up because I came up during the birth of Motown.
Mm-hmm.
And I was one of those little girls that wanted to be one of those Supremes. And the Marvelettes out there singing. You know, I love me some Temptation.
I'm going to start off by asking you, what inspired you to pursue an acting career?
I grew up in love with television.
Mm.
I watched all of the sitcoms, every sitcom that was out there. And if they could make me laugh, I just thought they were angels from heaven to just put that tickle in your stomach.
Yeah.
And I loved watching all of the sitcoms. I used to always watch Carol Burnett and I Love Lucy and just all of the great ones, you know, Mary Tyler Moore. They all made me laugh. And then I loved going to the movies.
Mm-hmm.
I would go with my mother and we would watch all these great movies, Jerry Lewis movies that just cracked me up. And I think it left a very deep impression upon me that I wanted to entertain people and I want to make people laugh. And I don't think it's by accident that my first big television thing was a sitcom. It was supposed to be.
What was it like working on the Jamie Foxx show?
Oh, well, Jamie Foxx, that was fun. He had done some work with us on Rock. You know, he was Crazy George on Rock.
Wow.
And I named him. Because they had just given him the name George. And I was the one that put it together and said, Crazy George. Crazy George had to know. And so after our show was over with and Jamie had his own show, he invited me to come on and do an episode. And I had so much fun. I thought that was so beautiful of him to remember me and invite me onto his show like that. And so I did one episode and it was fun. Helen Martin was in the episode I was in. She was alive at the time. You know, that lady was a stitch. She had me cracking up on the set, you know. It was a funny episode too.
Oh, that's awesome. What about Seinfeld? What was it like working with Larry David and Jerry Seinfeld?
Well, I never got to meet Larry David.
Okay.
But Jerry Seinfeld hired me for that episode himself.
Wow.
So I always felt really special about that. I went in and auditioned against white guys and white women for that role. Okay. And when I went in there and did that audition, Jerry was in the room. He was like, well, that's it. That's who I want for that part. And I ended up getting the role. And it was fun. It was fun. My only scene that I had was with the Crazy Kramer character.
Awesome.
Yeah, that was the only scene that I had. And he was funny.
Yeah.
And we were funny. And it was a funny episode. And everybody that's ever seen it, they always make it a point to go, I saw you on Seinfeld.
That's right.
Said Jerry hired me.
What?
Himself.
that speaks volumes.
Yes, it does. I think so.
Okay, so you were a series regular on Rock.
Yes.
What was that experience like?
Oh, it was like a dream come true. I still think about it sometimes as a dream. I was like, did that really happen? Yes, it did. You know, it was so much fun just coming to work and laughing on a sitcom. When you're doing a sitcom and everybody is kind of funny and the script is funny and everybody's being silly, it's a fun day at the office.
Do you remember what your audition was like?
Yes, I had to audition several times.
Wow.
Yeah. The first time I went in, I was in a play at the time called Two Trains Running. And we were performing at the Old Globe Theater down in San Diego. Lloyd Richards was the director. And it was doing real well. It was on its way to Broadway. It was doing real great. And my agent had me audition for this pilot. And the pilot had a different name at the time, everything, because everything goes through its changes before the public end up getting it. And it had a different name, had different lead actors. It was Charles Dutton and Reggie Cathy. They were the two lead actors at the time. And I didn't want to audition for it. I told my agent, I said, well, this play is going to Broadway. I want to go to Broadway with it. And I got all these great reviews and everything. I want to go to Broadway. He said, Ella, do this TV show. He said, and then you can do all the plays you want to do.
That's right.
He said, once people know you from television, they'll come back to see your great theater work. He says, but you can do theater and do Broadway and go to Broadway and nobody ever know you afterwards. They may not if they never see you on television. I was like, well, okay, I guess I'll take your advice. That's what I'm paying you 10% for, so I'll take your advice. So I went to the audition, and once I left, I didn't think about it anymore. I just went to work. And then my agent called me again, and he said, they want you to come back.
Oh, boys.
And I said, but I already auditioned. Why do I got to come in? Well, he said, it's what they call a callback.
There you go.
I said, okay, well, I'll go and audition again. And then I went on, and the first couple of times I auditioned only for the casting people. I haven't even got to see the important people yet. I'm going in, audition for Robbie Reed, who was working at HBO at the time, because they were our parent company for rock. And I auditioned for them twice. Then I came in and auditioned for another casting woman, I guess, who was her boss. And so then they called my agent again, and they're still calling me, worrying me to death. And they're like, they want you to come in now and audition for the director. Okay. So I came in, auditioned for him. Stan Daniels was there, and James Burrows was there. And I went in and I auditioned, and there were a whole bunch of actresses out there. I didn't know none of them. I was new in Hollywood. And when I was done, I'll never forget, Stan Daniels looked at me and he said, who are you? Why don't I know you? I said, I don't know. I said, I'm new in Hollywood. I'm a new face. He said, you're fantastic. So I went home, didn't think about it anymore. I'm still doing Two Trains Running at the Old Globe. And then they called again, and they said, we want you to audition with Charles Dutton. And when I was done, Charles called me a couple of days later on the phone. And he said, I just wanted to get a feel for you and talk to you a little bit. And so we talked a little bit. And he says, well, they're thinking about auditioning 500 more actresses in Atlanta. I said, well, go ahead. It's a wonderful script, and you deserve to get the best person you can find for this. Our people need a script like this right now. So he said, okay. So then our agent called me and said, they want you. Yeah. They want you. And I kept saying no. I wanted to go to Broadway. And then my agent had to get on the phone with me and tell me, no, Ella, I'm sick of all these August Wilson plays. You need to be doing TV. So I listened to him. He said, I tell you what, none of these pilots get picked up. So shoot the pilot, and then you can go back to doing the play. Okay, back then they took 10 days to shoot a pilot. It was wonderful. So we had a ball. They flew us out here. We shot the pilot. Before we got halfway through the week, they picked up like 13 episodes, something like that. And it was like, no, this is going to be a series. And I was like, I can't go back to the play, right?
No.
No.
Didn't you win a little prestigious award, the NAACP award?
Well, I got nominated.
Oh, okay.
I got nominated. I got nominated twice.
Wow.
2 years straight. They never saw fit to give it to me, but it's okay. I was nominated, and that was quite an honor.
It is an honor.
Because I was new in the industry. Nobody really knew me. And for me to get a nomination like that, it was wonderful. I lost both years to Jasmine Guy, so that's okay. I lost to a great actress, so it's okay.
I still think you should have gotten it.
Thank you.
Let's move on to some of your major films.
Oh.
Set It Off.
Yeah. Whew. I didn't know all of the girls personally at the time. Queen Latifah had done one episode of Rock, so I had met her already. And I knew Vivica. I had seen her a few times around. Matter of fact, I had worked with her a little bit after Set It Off as an acting coach. And I met all of the other girls. I didn't really know Jada. I didn't know any of them. So we came into the film, like gangbusters. We were happy that we were doing a feature film, action film. Mm-hmm. I had to learn how to shoot a 9mm Glock and how to look like a cop, and act like a cop, I've never held a gun in my hand before, and they had to teach me how to shoot it, and they taught me how to do all of those things. It was a wonderful experience.
Tell us about your experience on Reality Bites. What was it like working with Winona Ryder and was Ethan Hawke and Ben Stiller?
I didn't get a chance to work with a lot of them either because I had one scene.
I see it.
And that one scene I was there, but that was another wonderful thing that happened. I shared a limousine with Ben Stiller at a Fox event. Okay. And I was already doing Rock, right? So that kind of put me in the company of certain people. And Ben was on the rise. Reality Bites was his first film. He was on the rise. And we shared a limousine. And we're sitting in the limousine just talking about the business and our hopes and dreams and everything. And Ben said, well, I'm going to be doing a film. I'm gonna reach out to you. And it wasn't BS. He did, man of his word. Awesome. He reached out and asked me to do this part. And I came in and did it. And he sent me a lovely note afterwards and told me it was a really hoot in the film. It was one of the high hoots in the movie. Right. And he appreciated me doing that for him.
You worked with Tyler Perry on a film called Temptation, Confessions of a Marriage Counselor. What was it like being directed by Tyler Perry?
Mm-hmm. That was a fun experience, too. It was wonderful. Tyler was so respectful of my talent. And it was fun working with him because the ideas that would come out of it, he was open to every moment of ideas, as opposed to being a director who dictates to you. He works out of what you're bringing him.
You're also no stranger to indie films. I had the pleasure of co-directing and acting with you in our indie faith film, Heavenly Deposit. And I got to tell you, you are such a giving actress. I mean, you made Nurse Williams come to life. And I will be forever grateful for that. Here's the thing. You also played a nurse in another indie, but this was a little bit different than our faith film. It was with Bruce Campbell. Please, tell us about that one.
Bubba Ho-Tep.
Yep.
Oh my God. I had such a good time working on that movie. Don Coscarelli was the director. Okay. And he came to see my play at the Geffen recently also. Nice. And he was just blown away by my work. He loved the play. But when he reached out to me to do, but actually I went in and auditioned for him because I did not know him and he did not know me. And I don't think he was necessarily a rock fan. He may not have ever watched rock. Everybody didn't see rock, So he never, and it was interesting that he cast me as a nurse because I played a nurse on rock, but it didn't have anything with me being a nurse on that show. And so when I came in and auditioned for him, he just thought I was terrific. And then I got the part and got to work with Bruce. Bruce is fun to work with. He is such a pro
Wow.
on the set and such a gentleman. I enjoyed working with him, and I enjoyed working with Don. His wife, Don Coscarelli's wife, did the costumes. And she made sure my nurse outfit was fitting me good. She said, you got to sell my husband's movie. And she put a cute little outfit on me. Took me to the costume shop, you know. It was fun working on an independent movie like that because people like that have their family involved.
Uh-huh.
You know, it's not just necessarily a crew full of strangers.
Right.
There are people that have worked on other movies with him. And so that sort of creates a family unit, and everybody kind of knows each other, and you walk into warmth.
Nice.
When it's like that, you know. And I had a ball, and it was R.C. Davis's last completed movie.
Oh.
And I got a chance to meet him. I didn't work with him because I wasn't in any scenes with him, but I got a chance to meet him, and you know, he was up in age then. Yeah. And I also worked with his wife earlier in my career. So I got a chance to meet Ossie and Ruby Dee, and I got a chance to work with Ruby Dee.
That's fantastic.
Yes, it was.
I watched some of it, and I'm sitting there going, wow, that was so wild. It was so wild.
Was that the wildest movie you ever seen? I'm still waiting on a Bubba Ho-Tep 2. I keep hoping he comes back because my character survived Bubba Ho-Tep 1. So I'm like, come on, Don, you got to do the Bubba Ho-Tep 2 so I come back. And you know, it took Bruce so long to get into that makeup.
Oh, wow.
In the morning, hours. The first time I saw him on the set, I was blown away. I was like, Bruce, is that you? You look like Elvis.
Yeah.
Elvis who done got older.
Good stuff. Let's move on to theater.
Theater.
Great interview with Miss Ella Joyce, but there's more, so stay tuned for part 2 in our next episode.